Hello and welcome to today's session on NetSuite OpenAir for agencies. My name is Meg Shea and I'm a solution consultant dedicated to assisting agencies find the right project management tool. Our agenda for today will be to go over our dashboards and navigation, take a look at project and resource management, as well as time and expense entries, and wrap things up with project accounting and reporting. So what matters to agencies? You'll need a solution that is geared towards three key areas. From a client perspective, having a system that gives you the ability to partner with your clients for joint success. In terms of talent, the ability to make informed staffing decisions and quickly view utilization rates to ensure productivity and retention rates remain high. And lastly, in terms of profitability, as changes occur to a project, having real-time visibility into how this impacts your overall profit margin. Competition is fierce. As brands continue to push forward, having a competitive advantage to succeed will be critical for agencies. So to kick things off, we'll get a better understanding of just how intuitive the user interface is from a navigation perspective. In addition, we'll take a look at our role-based dashboards designed to provide you with real-time analytics right at your fingertips. In addition, if you need more insight to any report, with one click, you can drill down to the underlying details. And lastly, you have the flexibility to personalize your dashboards and reports. I want to emphasize personalize as it truly is click, not code. Go ahead and jump into the application. So as you can see, I'm logged into a Google Chrome browser. However, the application's browser agnostic. So as long as you have an internet connection, you'll be able to log in and access the system. The biggest benefit to leveraging a cloud-based solution is there are biannual product releases each year to ensure that you're running on the most up-to-date version. And as you can see here, I'm logged in as Mark Collins. The system is role-based, and the roles drive the security and permission of the end user. Let's take a minute and focus on the user interface. So we can see this black ribbon at the top. It focuses on key functional areas. And if I go ahead and drill down into my underlying jobs or projects, I have a sub-menu of functional areas that are related to those specific jobs or projects. I also have a green plus sign that's following me around within the application. This is considered our global create. It allows me to create new things, and it's context specific. So since we're in projects, it will let me create project specific activities. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what it means in terms of setting up some dashboards within OpenAir. Dashboards are really tailored to each end user's role. I can publish things such as message boards where I can post messages out to my employees and they'll get a real-time live newsfeed when they log into the system. In terms of reminders, this is where I have the ability to go ahead and manage exception and take action. I might be involved in approving time off expenses or invoices before they get sent out to the client. I can also choose to embed visual graphics here in terms of reports and charts, or maybe I want to go ahead and set up a list of my favorite reports and right from my dashboard with one click can execute this report within the application. I also have dashboards that are focused on functional areas. So these can be things such as financial overview, a job overview, a staffing overview. And to paint a little picture, let's assume our executive team is looking to expand in the new fiscal year, and they're going to need better visibility into understanding what revenue will be coming into the business. Front and center, right from here, I can do this. I have visibility into all of my clients and their projected billings or revenue that will be coming in. I also have a color-coded, broken out by accounting period for how much revenue and when this revenue will be coming into the business. I can also take a look at my billing margin, and this is broken out by geographical location. But really, what I want to focus my attention on is our annual yearly expenses. With one click, I can come in here and I can edit this specific graph. And just like that, it's point and click functionality. I'm able to come in here. We'll go ahead and update this. And I want to look at my last year's total expenses. So we've gone ahead and set this for 2017, and I can save this report. And in real time, I'm able to come in here and analyze my overall expenses, seeing that hotel was where majority of our spend went. I want to go ahead and scroll down here. Our agencies really love this client profitability report. So just to highlight a few things here, we can see this parent hierarchy structure where we have our client and our underlying jobs that roll up into that specific client. We can take a look at the total cost for the month of January, as well as our profits and what our overall profit margin is. And as you can see, the underlying client and specific job, we are there is a negative profit margin. With this report, I'm able to proactively take action. And anytime I see that a project begins to dip into a negative return, I can go ahead and execute and ensure that I am going to be maintaining profitability on all of my projects. So whether that means I reach out to the client and ask for additional billings or invoicing, or put a halt to the additional timeline or scope that has been modified to the project. Right from my dashboard, I'm able to go ahead and take action to ensure that each and every single one of my projects and clients is maintaining a positive ROI. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some information regarding our job overview. So within the job overview, it's a fantastic native reporting suite. I have visual graphics looking at my total budget and seeing how I'm burning down from that budget with invoices and my total revenue. As I scroll down here, and what we really hear from our agencies is that project managers don't have real-time visibility into their timeline, budget, or actual costs. So last month, you might have been working with Disney on an international trailer, and as that job was wrapping up, you then found out that you've been over-servicing the job. You're burning through money, and now you're taking a loss on your books. Right from your dashboard with this view, you're able to proactively manage each job to ensure you're maintaining a positive ROI. Right from here, we can see the status of our job in terms of percent complete. We can see our overall budget in terms of an actual dollar figure, how we're tracking to cost, and what our overall spend is remaining for each and every single one of these jobs. So with this information, we're able to make better informed decisions and take action. Lastly, the last portlet here in terms of functional areas is our staffing overview. I want to highlight some of the capabilities we have with these visual graphs. I've been assigned to work on a project for my manager, and really what we're just focusing on is the social media and digital trends. So here I'm looking at forecast utilization by department, and now I've gone ahead and turned off any information that's not relevant for comparative information. I can then come up here and export this, download this, and boom, just like that, I have a report to present to my manager for the analytics and trend focused on those two key departments. And what we really hear from agencies is the most critical report they need is being able to take a pulse on their supply and demand. And that's exactly what this report does here. So for January 2018, I can see that we have a shortage of web developers. And with one click, I can go ahead and drill down into the underlying details. And I want to be able to know when I need to ramp up on my resources. So I'm going to go ahead and just collapse all these for a minute to take a look at what trends I can see. I can scroll over to know and get an understanding and a pulse on how long am I in a deficit. It looks like it ends around March, but I'm able to have a real-time visibility into what my deficit looks like into the foreseeable future. I can also go ahead and drill down into the underlying details to get a better understanding of specifically who makes up my web development team, what resources within my organization are assigned that specific job role. And I can take this one step further to drill down into the underlying details to see where our shortfall is and where we might have gaps on those specific projects that we're working on. Really, the purpose of this chart is enabling me to make strategic hiring decisions. Do I want to onboard a new employee, or is this shortfall or deficit just for a short period of time where I can look to outsource to labor to get outsourced labor for contractor or freelancer? So in summary here, the dashboards really provide real-time analytics right at our fingertips to enable me to make informed strategic decisions. I'm going to go ahead, pop back out to my PowerPoint to cover our next topic here. We're going to be focused on project and resource management. We'll take a look at a day in the life of the project or account manager, walking through how to create a new project, key project attributes, and real-time metrics around project profitability and budgeting. Then we'll transition into two different workflows to get an understanding of how resources can be booked to a specific project. So let's go ahead and take a look at our project layout here. And as we can see, these projects are categorized by a variety of stages. And these stages allow us two things. One, to better organize our projects, and the second, to control specific project attributes. So for example, for a new business, we're able to create projects early to start thinking about the pipeline from a talent perspective. What does forecasted revenue look like? From a resourcing perspective, will we have enough resources with the right skill set to service these jobs? Here I'm on my active projects view, and this is really valuable. I have a centralized view to take a pulse on all of my projects. I can do this in terms of a monetary standpoint, a dollar value in terms of budget, or status. What does it look like in terms of my planned hours against my work hours? And I also have the flexibility to personalize this view. So maybe I want to add in additional KPI, a metric, for how I measure against my projects. A custom field, I certainly can do that quick, easy, and intuitive to add in any metric into this specific field. Or we might be working with administrative projects. And again, this is where I can control those attributes. I can disable billing and revenue recognition for my administrative type of projects. So now let's take a look at specifically how we're going to be creating a new project within the system. And there's a variety of ways we can do this, but let's start with our global create option. So we could go ahead and create a new job from scratch, or maybe we want to go ahead and create a new job from either a template or an existing project. So we'll just set this up and we'll create a teaser trailer. And again, we'll continue to work with the theme here in a sub-project for Disney. I'll assign my owner, specifically for Mark Collins, and this is where I can pull in either a project that's performing well that I want to replicate or a specific template. So keep in mind, any of these templates here, this is going to enable me to enforce a repeatable and standardized process from a project delivery standpoint. This also enables me to create a project without having to start from scratch. We'll go ahead and leverage this existing project that is performing well. I can then select which attributes of the project I want to replicate or duplicate. So again, this switchboard gives me control for what those attributes are. Could be anything from work breakdown structure, expense policy, project budgets. And the last thing I want to highlight here in terms of setting up a new project is I have the ability to manage client parent-child hierarchy relationships within OpenAir. So I'm going to go ahead and associate this to a specific portfolio, which is Finding Dory, which is a sub teaser trailer that will be running that rolls up into this portfolio. And with one click, I've gone ahead, I've saved a project, and I even have a baseline for my work breakdown structure. I'm not starting from scratch. It's going to allow my project and account managers to work efficiently and get those projects quickly set up. And for this specific use case, what I want to do is take a look at an existing project that has a little bit of more meat on it with some actuals entered against this. So we'll go ahead and look at our international trailer spot. And what I want to do here is take a step back. And what we often hear from agencies is that they have siloed systems to manage their projects, leading to inconsistent data. Or they might have an existing project tool, but they have to go through hoops to make simple tweaks to the project timeline. Agencies are focused on ensuring brands are satisfied with their end deliverable, and this often requires reiteration and back and forth with the client from the initial project scope. So as that project deviates, it's critical for your project managers, your account managers to understand how this will impact the overall budget. And OpenAir offers a unified platform to manage and alleviate all of those pain points. So again, agencies, they're tracking a lot of those issues related to a specific project in Excel, in email. But now you can manage and track all these within all these subjective and objective metrics in a centralized location. You're able to quickly take a pulse on risk assumptions, issues, and dependencies, and then report on these specific attributes across your entire project base. Well, now let's go ahead and take a look at our phases and tasks from a Gantt chart perspective. So we'll take a look at this. We have a variety of views here, but from left to right, we're looking at a work breakdown structure. We can see phases and tasks. We have a parent-child predecessor relationship that we can set up. From a resourcing perspective, I'm able to see who's assigned to each task, and I have a Gantt chart that I'm able to manipulate the timeline of my project graphically. And it just so happens that I receive a call from Disney and they need me to modify the timeline of a project. All within one screen, I can come in here and I have the flexibility to go ahead and leverage inline editing, whether that be to a specific job task name, modify dates, um, assign generic resources, whatever that might be. The system is easy and intuitive for me to manipulate the scope of my project. I can even come in here to replicate and duplicate specific project tasks. And as these changes occur throughout the course of the project, I want to be able to go ahead and report on these different baselines and reiterations of the projects that I'm setting up. So let's go ahead and take a look at this version 2 that we've created for additional graphic design hours and compare it against our initial baseline. So as a project manager, I can quickly come in here and monitor the performance of a project. I can quickly gain visibility into the delta on virtually any component or KPI of the project. We can see finish date, budget, any of those KPI metrics, and how it's going to impact the overall timeline of the project. And in addition, Disney wanted me to go ahead and send out a status update or a snapshot into the report. And with one click, I can go ahead and do that. There's two ways that I can leverage the status report. One, I can set this up for an internal view, or I can go ahead and flip this on for our client view. So you might have different views. If internally you want to track some of those issues, you can set up portlets that wouldn't be exposed to the client, and you can define exactly what that information is. So in our use case, Disney was looking for specific financial information, so we could include this portlet here and give them a true pulse on what their income is against their budget, so what their remaining spend is for this specific international trailer that we're running for them. Quick, easy to go ahead and communicate real-time updates out to your client, all within a single platform. So now let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit and take a look at our resource management. There's two different workflows that we can set up here. And one is for a little bit if we're working with smaller organizations where they know specifically what resources they're working with and can manage this directly from the project. So as I'm scrolling down here, you can see that we have a designer. So this is where we've gone ahead and we've used a generic role as a placeholder. And this allows us to assign a bucket of hours to calculate the cost to use for forecasting demand of a specific skill set. Now we need to look for an actual resource for this job. And the system is going to go ahead and search and look for a potential substitute that has that designer role set up on their employee record, and then give us possible substitutes and suggestions. Anything where we see these bars aren't colored in, that means that these individuals have availability. So right from here, I can go ahead and substitute Pat, who looks like a good fit to go ahead and be allocated to this specific job. But I can also take a shortcut. I can go into my personnel and take a look at my overall team. I can go into this specific generic role or resource that has been used as a placeholder and then assign that individual resource. I'm just going to go ahead and assign Jane Kwan here for purposes of this demonstration, since we'll be using her for our time and expense entry later on. And what this does when I go ahead and select OK, it's going to bulk assign Jane to any designer within that project. So we can see that she's been substituted against 16 tasks within that work breakdown structure. We'll go ahead and close this out now. So that's quick and easy for small agencies to staff resources to a project. And the module works well if your project managers are able to freely assign individuals to a project and know exactly which resources they want to staff. But you might be a larger agency or have a larger pool of resources that you're managing. We can use our resource bookings to go ahead and take a look at this. We'll start with our planner. And this provides us a consolidated scheduling calendar that gives you visibility across all of your projects. And the color coding down at the bottom makes it very easy to decipher the chart based on booking types and availability. Resource managers no longer have to manually go through millions of Excel spreadsheets to figure out who's working on what. They can come right in here, a centralized view, to enable them to quickly make staffing decisions. And I have a variety of filter options. So whether I'm looking for a specific job code, a skill set, or maybe I want to create a filter specifically to the team of resources that I'm managing, I can do that. I also have the option to flip this to a client view if needed. So as I'm scrolling through here, I can see that Judy Davis, one of our resources, is really overutilized. I want to get a better understanding of specifically what she's working on. I can drill down into these underlying details, and really I can see that she's working on two pretty high profile clients for us. And I want her to exclusively focus her attention on this Hill Holiday mobile strategy project, which means I'm going to have to find another resource to assist with our Ford Motors banner ad project. And I know that I'm going to need a resource that has some type of web development, and they're going to need some graphical background to assist with this interactive banner ad. I can also click on Judy for a brief employee profile and overview. And just for a quick background, when you set up an employee in OpenAir, you're able to associate them with a specific skill or certification. And then you can search on these attributes. So let's go ahead and do that. I've set up an advanced search, and with this, you have the flexibility to save frequent searches, so we know which one we're looking for. I've already gone ahead and set that up, but you also can go ahead and create these on the fly. It's going to return a list of matching resources. The percentage of rating is going to see who's best fit based on the skills and experience you've defined within that search criteria. So these are my skills that I'm looking for, and I can see that Marie Porter would be my best resource. However, when I look at this, I can see that her availability is limited since she's really at full capacity in terms of utilization. So what I want to do is go ahead and compare my top 3 employees that came back for the search and add them to my compare view. With this compare view, I can see a side-by-side analysis of how my employees rank in terms of utilization and availability, what their background is, their overall job role, and what skills and specialties they bring to the table. Right from here, after I've done analysis, I can go ahead and create a booking. We'll go ahead and select Ron. And just to highlight the variety of booking types and options that you have in terms of managing this process, you could go ahead and enter a request for this booking type, and that will kick off an approval workflow to then have another set of eyes to actually go ahead and either confirm this booking, or maybe you just want to have your project managers, account managers directly book this resource, and you could go ahead and select this booking type to confirm, and then that would go ahead and book one to the specific project. So you have flexibility in defining that workflow in terms of your booking types and how you want to manage that. One other view that I want to highlight is our worksheet view. And this is an alternative view, and it has an Excel look and feel. So you can quickly leverage inline editing to normalize work schedules of your staff. And you can see we have color coding attributes, so anything in red, we're flagging our resources who are overutilized, or you can begin to normalize some of those schedules for them. So just to sort of summarize here, we've taken a look at project management, having everything in a single system, being able to view from a resourcing perspective within OpenAir enables you to have a real-time centralized system to balance demand and resource forecasting. In addition, you can track key skill attributes to ensure you aren't burning through costs by assigning a highly qualified resource to a project that has simple requirements. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our time and expense. OpenAir provides flexible approval workflows to ensure internal controls are enforced across the organization. At the end of the day, it's about having a system that's easy and accessible so your most valuable assets, your people, can efficiently and effectively execute their administrative duties. I'm going to go ahead and log back in as our end user that we've set up as Jane, our graphic designer, who's going to be entering time against that Disney project. So from a time sheet perspective, it's a simple, intuitive user interface that allows our end users to enter time against a specific project. So we'll pull in that Disney International trailer spot. And these are the underlying 16 job tasks that we actually assigned her to. So where she's giving feedback, and we can go ahead and enter in a specific number of hours. I also have the option to enter in a note to any of my time entries, and that can help explain exceptions to speed up approval process and decrease billing errors. A few other features here, we have time off requests that I can go ahead and submit, and having everything on a unified platform, any time off request that I've submitted that's been approved, it is going to come up within the system so I know exactly what resources are off for that specific day so I don't book them when they're on vacation. I also can manage things such as leave accrual, whether that be vacation or sick time. And I can come in here, and if I'm working on projects consistently that are similar from one week to the next, I can go ahead and clone a timesheet. Again, making it as simple and easy for your end users to quickly enter that time. Then when I go ahead and click Save and Submit, what would happen is this would go ahead and get routed through our approval workflow. And this approver would receive an alert and a reminder on their dashboard to take action to approve this timesheet. The system can support the internal controls you need from an approval perspective, um, and whatever complexities those are with those rules and routings. So we'll just save it for this use case. And a lot of our graphic designers and producers are traveling, so it's critical to have a mobile application to support them while they are on the go, something that's simple and easy for them to use. So let's take a look at what that mobile application specifically looks like. Here are some sample screenshots of what our mobile application looks like. Our feedback that we get is that our timesheets and expense reports are extremely easy and almost no training is required. The support of a mobile application helps ensure user adoption is high. An intuitive UI to quickly enter time, expense reports, and even upload receipts on the go. Lastly, we'll focus on the flexibility you have in defining unique billing rules to meet the changing demands of your clients. If they demand a different invoice layout, not to worry, we have you covered. And just like we have rules for billing, the system allows you to find revenue recognition rules that are completely decoupled from how and when you bill your clients. I'm going to focus on the day in the life of someone who oversees our back-end financials. This could be an editor, a project manager, an AR analyst. So going back to the project we've been working on, I'm going to take a look at some of our financials. We have a financial analysis report that gives us a quick snapshot into a high-level summary of the P&L of our overall project, income, incurred costs, our profit summary, budget summary. In addition, we have the ability to go ahead and set up a variety of project budgets. We can have multiple project budgets, and we can ensure version control and approved budgets. Let's take a look at our approved budget here. I have the ability to break out my budget into subcategories based on expense, labor, or purchases. I can see the total cost that we have incurred for each of these subcategories, as well as what we're billing out to our existing client and what the profitability is. I can see what types of costs will be incurred based on the accounting period and scroll over to see that into the foreseeable future. Now let's take a look at our different billing options that we have. OpenAir's billing rules are extremely flexible. You have the ability to enable multiple billing rules for each project. So we can include things in bill out such as time and expense, fixed fee, or retainer fee based on milestone, and I can define a specific markup that we might want to pass through to our clients. With my global create button, I can come in here and I can add in a variety of billing rules if needed to for any specific project. I also have the option to go ahead and create revenue recognition rules. And keep in mind, unlike most traditional professional service systems, within OpenAir you can decouple billing and revenue recognition. You have the ability to find how you'll be recognizing revenue, whether that's based on percent complete upon invoicing, or maybe based on completion of a certain milestone. I've already gone ahead and seeded a sample. I've already gone ahead and run the charges and seeded a sample invoice for us based on an expense report that I entered earlier in the week. So let me go ahead and show you what that invoice looks like. Keep in mind you have the flexibility here to define the layout that you want to communicate to your client. These invoices can be emailed or printed from OpenAir or integrated to an ERP system. And these charges are really going to be generated by the billing engine to reduce manual effort and errors. In addition, this process is automated to ensure charges are timely and accurate, quickly getting these invoices out the door to clients to improve your cash flow. And the last thing to really wrap up the demonstration here is to touch on some of our reporting capabilities. So out of the box on day one, you have pre-built reports that you can leverage. In addition, you have the option of building any reports within the tool with point and click functionality. This enables you to slice and dice data in any way that you see fit. So we're going to go ahead and there's a variety of options that we can do with all of these reports. We can run them directly in the browser. We can download them to applications such as Excel, Word, PDF. We can even share these reports internally or schedule them to be emailed for delivery. Let's go ahead and run this booked utilization. This report combines things like multiple level drill down, hierarchy information, and color coding to draw out the specific exceptions. So anything in red, we're flagging our resources who are underutilized. To summarize everything that we've gone through today, we've taken a look at our dashboards and navigations. It's intuitive and easy to use. We have a unified platform and suite to manage projects, resource management. Everything is in real time. And then we've taken a look at how to enter time and expense. We offer a mobile application to make it easy and intuitive. And then we have automated billing and revenue recognition rules that you can set up. The reports to really take a pulse on the performance and health of each individual project. And if I can summarize how we truly differentiate ourselves from the marketplace, it would be three key value propositions. We offer an agency solution. We're vertically aligned and we have hired industry principals who have worked in the industry that are closely aligned with our product team to enhance our offering. Our tool ensures that you have the right people working on the right project to improve client and brand satisfaction. We offer a flexible platform. Having everything on a single unified platform is a huge advantage. You have a 360-degree view into each project. This enables you to quickly take the pulse on the profitability or remaining spend to ensure each and every project has a positive ROI. And we offer robust reporting. You don't need to add to your total cost of ownership. OpenAir comes with a report writer that we offer out of the box on day one, as well as the flexibility to personalize reporting from templates that allow you to build reports from scratch. So thanks again for taking the time to get a high-level brief overview of OpenAir for agencies.